and there's actually quite a bit of it. I was able to scrape a bit of it off, but a lot of it is adhering so hard that I can't even scrape it off here. Hello my friends, welcome back to Late Departure. I'm Adam, and as some of you may know, this is my continuing journey to hopefully becoming an airline pilot at some point. And today I'm just doing a really brief video. This is going to be an excerpt of one of my flights the other night, which unfortunately I had to cancel because there was frost adhering to the wings. And as all of you know, we have something called the clean aircraft concept, where you cannot take off if you have any frost or ice or even like wet snow adhering to the critical surfaces of the aircraft. Now, even though it's snowing right now, as you can see around me here, you can see very much that this is pretty much like dust. It's so cold out here that the snow doesn't really stick to stuff very much. And all this snow around the ground like here is, well, you can see, it's very light. It's almost sandy in its texture. So the good thing about that is if it snows on the aircraft, you can easily brush it off and go flying and not have to worry about that because nothing is adhering to the aircraft. And at the airports as well, it's very easy for them to kind of brush aside the snow so you can go and land there. I was doing soft field landings for the first time, and I'll have a video of that coming out sometime soon, of me doing soft field landings in a Citabria, a tail dragger, but instead of grass as the soft field, it was snow as the soft field, which was pretty fascinating to me. But in any case, because it is, the way it is, it's not sticky or muddy or anything like that. It's quite easy to fly through and do soft field landings in and things like that. Now, that being said, I did encounter some frost the other night, and in retrospect, after learning what I did from other pilots in the area here, I found out that, if I had done some things differently, then my flight wouldn't have had to be canceled, because it was an absolutely beautiful, clear, dry, very almost light winds, variable, very, very light and variable winds. It was something like maybe 2 or 3 knots, and it was really the perfect night to go flying. But when I got out there, I found out that there was frost. There was hoarfrost adhering to the wings. And of course, I know my clean aircraft concept, and I went and double checked it just to make sure. And I can even just show you this right here. There's an excerpt from the Transport Canada website which talks about the clean aircraft concept, and it is very important because things adhering like frost adhering to the wing of the aircraft, it increases the weight of the aircraft, it decreases the lift of the aircraft, it disrupts the flow of air over the wings. It's really bad news. So of course we don't want to get into that sort of situation. So first of all, I'll show you my excerpt of that night before I found out the stuff that I had learned now about how to deal with the situation. And then I'll recap on it and wrap up the video and tell you what I learned about how I could have prevented that from happening in the first place. Today, well, hopefully I'm showing some pretty good airmanship, but I'm supposed to go out for a night flight here. Came out, did the pre-flight, have gone around, and I'm taking a look at the plane. And of course, having learned about the clean aircraft concept, I feel like it's my responsibility to be a safe pilot, to not go up when there's frost on the wings. The clean aircraft concept says if there's anything adhering to the wings, especially like frost, the coarseness of sandpaper, like it is right here, can actually reduce your lift and increase your drag by so much that it could make it quite dangerous to fly. So I unfortunately am going to have to, even though it's a beautiful night, I'm going to have to reschedule and do another one at a time when I don't have that frost buildup on the wings. But just taking a look at it here. Looking at it here, you can see that coarse frost that's building on the plane here. And there's actually quite a bit of it. I was able to scrape a bit of it off, but a lot of it is adhering so hard that I can't even scrape it off here. I had to use my fingernail to really get a lot of that off. And for me, I just got into night flying and I just started flying out here. That frost, you can see a lot of that frost on the wings there. For me, that's a no-go. I don't want to risk going out and killing myself. And in the future, of course, I want to be a good commercial pilot. I need to make sure that I am careful to make sure the aircraft does not have stuff all over it and that it has a nice clean surface so that I don't endanger the lives of my passengers as well. So yes, it's a tough thing, but I think good airmanship has to prevail here. I have to make the right choices and be responsible. So yeah, that's basically it. Unfortunately, it will be a cancellation, but hey, it's a lesson. It's something I haven't come across before because I flew in much warmer climates, but I think it's important that we, keep this kind of stuff in mind and be very careful that we are flying only in good conditions or conditions that are safe, and be very careful about aircraft icing, because icing is no joke, and these aircraft do not have any anti-icing equipment equipped on them. So in any case, I hope all of you are having a great day. If you're flying, fly safe. Don't fly when you got stuff on the wings. And as always, remember, it's never too late. See you next time. All right, so we're back, and no doubt some of you who fly in these types of conditions are saying, ha, you totally could have gone up. I can't believe that you didn't do this and this, because you would have been able to have a beautiful flight on a beautiful night. And yes, I know, if I had known the things that I know now, it would have been fine. So there are two major factors. One of them is, of course, even on the Transport Canada site, and even NASA has a really great website where they talk about frost formation and snow and aviation and stuff like that. And I'll also leave a link to that in the description if anyone's interested in reading that as well. But basically, frost mostly forms on those clear, calm nights where the skin of the aircraft is extremely cold, so that the water in the air just, I believe it's depositions. So sublimation is when it turns from a solid into a gas, but then deposition is the opposite way. If it goes directly from the water vapor into a solid, it goes right onto the wings. But typically this happens later on at night as the temperatures decrease. And of course, then is when you have the aircraft being really cold. You have the moisture in the air at that time. And that's what happened. And so the first advice that I got was that just go a little bit earlier. Go earlier than sunset. So the frost doesn't form as much during the day as it does at night when the temperatures decrease further. So if I'd gone just before sunset while the sun was still out, while it was still shining on the aircraft, and when the sun's shining on the aircraft, a lot of the times it sublimates that ice right into gas, or if it's hot enough, it will just, of course, melt the frost like it does in the morning in Vancouver, and then after that it would evaporate into the air. So that was one possible solution, is just leave half an hour earlier than I was, leaving before sunset, and then all I'd have to do is record my hours before official sunset and record my hours after official sunset. I'm a CPL student, so I'm hour building anyways, right? So might as well get some of my hours in first, and then I can record when my official nighttime starts there, and then take my nighttime hours after that. It's not like I'm going up for a short period of time. I can go up for, a few hours at a time, so it's not a big deal to me. But that would be one solution. The second, and probably more obvious solution, again, that I didn't think of, is that we actually do have a warm hangar at Harv's where I'm training now. And I could have just asked, hey, could you please just put the airplane in the hangar for, until I go out today? Because no one was flying at that time. Could have easily been done. Could have taken the aircraft out of the warm hangar. It would have had no frost on it. Would have had no problems. Could have gone right up and enjoyed that absolutely beautiful, clear, calm, starry night, and built up some great night hours. So those are the two big solutions that, had I known that, I would have been able to go up and get some more hours. And hopefully for the rest of you who might be coming out here to do that kind of thing, or those of you who are really in any situation, it could be Ontario, Saskatchewan, Alberta, other provinces as well. Everyone probably faces this similar kind of issue with frost. It's just, the nature of being out here in the prairies in Canada. It is cold, it is dry. For the most part, that means it's amazing flying weather. But of course, there are some things that you need to keep in mind, like especially with frost formation here. So those are the two things I learned. Going out flying a little bit earlier while the sun is maybe still shining or up in the air, and then transitioning into the night flying, or just putting in the warm hangar and taking it out when I was ready to go flying. Again, super simple thing that I wish I had known, and I'm kind of kicking myself for not knowing it, because I had to go all the way out to the airport and then come back sort of for nothing there. Really disappointed because the weather was so amazing. But I digress. I'm a flight student. I'm here to learn as much as I can, and that was a lesson to learn. And unfortunately, it cost me a night of night flying, but of course, you don't learn everything overnight. Everything takes time. So in any case, I hope you all are having an absolutely amazing day. If you're out flying, have fun, fly safe. Hopefully you can dust the snow off your wings and go out for a beautiful flight today on this lovely day. Except the visibility isn't quite that good, I'd say. Well, yeah, maybe not today, but maybe another day you could go out flying and enjoy yourself but I definitely know I will tomorrow. I have flights booked all day, basically for the rest of the week. So I'll be doing some tail dragging, I'll be doing some night flying, just looking forward to having a heck of a lot of fun out here. So in any case, I love having you all along for this journey here. Thanks for joining me for my late departure. And remember, it's never too late. See you next time.